Hello everyone, welcome back for another one of Tom's Teas. Tonight we're going to do a roasted spiced butternut squash soup. So this is probably more of an autumn or a winter dish, but we had a butternut squash lying around, so we thought we'd best use it up before it goes off. So what you're going to need for this is one butternut squash, and we're going to cook this, we're just going to roast this in the oven. An easy way so that you don't have to spend time messing around, peeling it, chopping it. It's just a dead easy way to do it. I'll show you that in a minute. You also need roughly one onion, a half to one onion. We've got 3/4 of one there. You'll need, I think, about 1 litre of veg stock. It's the first time I've made this, so I'll put the actual amount in the description underneath the video. We've run out of veg stock cubes, so I'm using chicken stock cubes. So I'm just going to do 2 of those to 1 litre of boiling water. And then you want some spices, so we're going to use some nutmeg and some curry powder. You want some butter and some cream to finish off your soup, just to make it nice and rich. A couple of cloves of garlic that'll go in with the onion. Sprig of rosemary, or kind of any sort of strong herb that you've got lying around. And then for the garnish, we're going to do some crispy sage and some pumpkin seeds just to go on the top. And then we've just got some olive oil and some salt and pepper as per normal. And then the other thing that you're going to need is some kind of food processor, stick blender, smoothie maker, basically anything that whizzes around and has a blade in it, because we're going to puree the soup at the end. Squash, all you need to do is take the top the tail off, and you want to make sure that when you do the bottom, put it so that it'll sit flat like that, and then you're just going to go straight through the middle all the way through. Open it up, so you're just going to take out all the pulp and all the seeds from that part there. Just scrape around with your spoon to get rid of it all. And then onto your oven tray. Sprinkle with salt and pepper. And some olive oil. And that's it. And then you just roast that in the oven. That side down to start with. Into the oven, 180 degrees. We'll give it half an hour to start with and see what it looks like, and then we might turn it over depending on how it's doing. Onions, we're just going to slice thinly. It doesn't matter if you don't get them really thin, because it's all going to get blitzed up at the end anyway. Garlic cloves. You're just going to crush, so if you top and tail your garlic, and then just use the blade of your knife and push down, you should find it nice and easy for the peel to come off then, like so. Just crush it down. Pop them to one side. Again, you don't need to chop them finely because it's all going to get blitzed up. So while our butternut squash is roasting away in the oven, we're just going to cook off our onions and our herbs. Drop of olive oil in there. Add your onions. And like a lot of recipes, we're just going to sweat these onions, so just a low to medium heat for about 5 minutes, just until they've nicely softened. Onions are now nice and soft, so we're just going to add in all of our flavourings. We've got our couple of garlic cloves, sprig of rosemary, Nutmeg, a couple of teaspoons, and same for curry powder. And then you're just going to cook that for another 5 minutes. Low heat. You just want to see the oil starting to come out of those spices into the pan. While that is cooking, we can do our little garnish of crispy sage. So I've just got some hot oil in a little frying pan. Same process applies to any herbs that you're making crispy. So you just want some hot oil, and all you're actually doing is taking the water content out of them. So you'll see when you put them in, they start to bubble. That's just getting rid of any moisture that's in there. And as soon as they stop bubbling, they're ready, and you can take them out again. So it'll literally take between 30 seconds and a minute, and they'll be done. Just pop them onto some kitchen roll, just to drain any excess oil off them, and then just let them dry, and they'll go really nice and crispy. And what you're doing by removing any moisture that's in there is you're just intensifying the flavour. So not only are you changing the texture by making it crispy, but you're giving some extra flavour as well. So crispy sage done. Okay, so that's been cooking for another 5 minutes. It's good to go. What we're going to do is just add a little touch of stock, because all those little bits that are stuck to the bottom, that'll bring them off the pan. And that's all flavour that we want to go into our soup. And we call that deglazing. It's a little chefy term for you.
Yes, chef.
Alright, just bring that up to the boil, and then turn it off the heat and wait until your butternut squash is ready to come out of the oven. Okay, so our squash has just come out of the oven after half an hour, and it's starting to soften up, but it's not quite there yet. So I'm going to give it another 20 minutes or so, still on the same side, because we want that flesh to start caramelising, because that's going to give us a bit of extra flavour. So give it another 15 to 20 minutes, and then it'll be good to go. Butternut squash has now been in the oven for 50 minutes, and you can see we're just starting to get a nice bit of colour on there, so that means that they're ready. And now what you can do is just start to scrape all that flesh out, and that can go straight into whatever you're blitzing your soup in. Okay, so you can, because it's nice and soft now, it'll literally just all come off the skin like that. Really easy, simple way to cook butternut squash. Okay, so we're going to blitz this up. I'm going to do it in 2 batches, because if I do all of it in one go, it's probably going to be a bit too much for the food processor. Just don't forget to take your rosemary stalk out of your soup base. I'm going to add half of this mix into there, making sure I get a garlic clove in. I'm going to add half a spoon of butter, and then we're going to blend that and just add the stock as we go. What you need to make sure is that you've not got the cup still in the food processor, and the liquid actually goes in.
I was wondering.
And you just keep adding stock until you get the consistency that you want. I like my soup quite thick, so I'm not going to add loads. Give it a taste, see if the consistency is as smooth as you want it, or if it needs any more seasoning. I'm going to whiz that for a little bit longer because it's not quite as smooth as I like it, and add a touch of salt and pepper. Lovely. So repeat that process for your second batch and then pop it all together. Depending on how hot your stock was, mine's not really that hot because it's been sat on the side for a while. So what you might need to do is when it's all ready is just reheat it in a pan or in the microwave again. If your stock's hot when you're putting it in, it should be fine just to eat once it's all been whizzed up in there. Once your soup's piping hot, ladle it into a bowl. Try not to drip it on the plate as you do it. And then you're just going to pop a drizzle of single cream. Give that a little swirl. And then add your toasted pumpkin seeds, crispy sage, and finally a little drizzle of olive oil. Serve that with whichever bread you like. So we've got some focaccia that we made earlier today, so we're going to have it with that. And there you go, that is your spiced butternut squash soup with pumpkin seeds and crispy sage.